Do you know the real difference between someone who completely transforms their life and someone who keeps starting over every Monday? It is not motivation. It is not discipline. It is not willpower. Because if it were, everyone would already be successful. Think about it. How many times have you promised yourself that this year would be different, that you would wake up earlier, study harder, work out consistently, finally become the person you know you could be? And how many times did that last 3 days? Here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people are not failing because they are weak. They are failing because they are trying to change everything at once. They try to build the roof before laying the foundation. In this video, I am going to show you the exact system that helped someone rebuild his life from zero, not with hype, not with unrealistic challenges, but with something so small it almost feels ridiculous. And that is exactly why it works. If you stay with me until the end, you will understand how to build habits that survive bad days, stress, and setbacks. So before we begin, ask yourself one question. What is the smallest habit you are willing to commit to starting tomorrow? Hold that answer. Because by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do with it. He was 19 years old when reality finally caught up with him. Not with a warning, not with a gentle reminder, but with pressure. Until that moment, his life felt normal. Late mornings, late nights, parties on weekends, big promises about the future, and absolutely no plan to reach it. He was not evil, he was not stupid, he was simply drifting. Living on autopilot feels comfortable until responsibility shows up. In his final year of high school, he took an important exam he barely prepared. He told himself he would figure it out later. Later arrived faster than he expected. His father became too sick to continue heavy work. His mother had a newborn baby. Bills did not stop. Rent did not pause. Reality does not negotiate. For the first time, he looked in the mirror and felt fear. Not fear of failure, but fear of being unprepared. So he did what most people do when they panic. He built a massive plan overnight. Wake up at 5, study 6 hours, train every morning, quit every bad habit instantly. It sounded powerful. It lasted 3 days. On the 4th day, he could not even focus for 10 minutes. And that was the moment he realized something terrifying. He did not lack ambition. He lacked structure. He lacked structure. And structure is what separates intention from transformation. That night, he sat on his bed staring at the ceiling. No music, no distractions, just silence. For the first time, he asked himself a different question. Not how do I change my life overnight? But why can I not keep a promise to myself? The answer was uncomfortable. His brain was trained for quick rewards, scrolling notifications, short bursts of entertainment. 6 hours of studying felt impossible. 5 minutes without checking his phone felt heavy. He was trying to force discipline onto a system that was never built. And that is when something shifted. Instead of building a perfect plan, he decided to search for a simple one. He opened his laptop and started learning about habits, not hype, not extreme challenges, just the science of small change. What he discovered changed everything. Real change does not start with intensity. It starts with something so small your mind cannot reject it. Something almost laughable. And that is where most people lose. Because small feels insignificant. But small repeated daily becomes powerful. If this already makes sense to you, comment 1. Not for me, for you. As a signal that you are ready to stop chasing the motivation and start building structure. Because what he was about to try next was so simple, it almost felt embarrassing. And yet it became the foundation of everything. What he chose to do next was almost ridiculous. He decided to read 5 pages a day. Not 50, not a full chapter, just 5 pages before bed. That was it. No announcement, no dramatic reset, no promise to wake up at 5 in the morning. 5 pages. The first night felt small, almost pointless. He finished in less than 10 minutes. A part of him whispered, "This will not change your life." But another part answered, "Maybe it does not need to." Night 2, he read again. Night 3, he almost forgot. He was already lying down, lights off, half asleep. For a second, he considered skipping. It is only 5 pages, it will not matter. But that was the old pattern speaking. So he stood up, turned on the light, read the 5 pages, and went back to bed. Something subtle happened. For the first time in years, he kept a promise to himself. Not a big promise, a small one. And small promises build trust. By the 7th day, he noticed something strange. He was looking forward to reading. Not because the book was magical, but because it represented proof. Proof that he could show up. By day 14, he had read 70 pages. More importantly, he had built evidence. Evidence that he was capable of consistency. And consistency started to reshape his identity. He was no longer someone trying to change. He was someone who reads every night. And once that identity began to form, he realized something powerful. If 5 pages were possible, what else might be possible? If 5 pages were possible, what else might be possible? That question stayed with him. The next morning, he did not try to run 5 kilometers. He did not sign up for a gym. He did not attempt a dramatic transformation. He chose something even smaller. He walked to the mailbox. That was it. From his front door to the mailbox and back. Less than 200 meters. It felt almost silly. But silly is powerful. Because silly removes resistance. The first morning was easy. The second morning was colder. The third morning, he did not feel like going. But the rule was simple. No negotiation. Walk to the mailbox and return. Within a week, something changed. He was not proud of the distance, he was proud of the consistency. And consistency creates momentum. After 2 weeks, he added one more tiny action. 5 push-ups after the walk. Not an intense workout, not an hour of training. Just 5. Some days they were slow, some days they felt heavy. But he showed up. And that is the shift most people miss. Transformation is not built on intensity, it is built on repetition. If you are starting to understand the power of small, disciplined actions, comment 2. not as a trend, but as a commitment to simplicity. Because once he proved he could walk every morning and read every night, he was no longer building habits. He was building structure. And structure was quietly rebuilding his life. And once structure begins to rebuild your life, opportunity starts to notice. 3 weeks into his new routine, something unexpected happened. One morning, while walking back from the mailbox, he saw his neighbor leaving for work. "You are up early these days," the neighbor said. He smiled, just trying to be more consistent. That small conversation led to a simple question. "Are you looking for a job?" He was. And within a week, he was working afternoon shifts at a local warehouse. It was not glamorous, it was not high-paying, but it was honest work. The first few days were exhausting. His back hurt, his legs felt heavy, his hands were sore. Old habits whispered again. "Skip the reading tonight, you deserve rest." "Skip the walk tomorrow, you worked hard." But he remembered the rule. Never miss twice. So even after a long shift, he read 5 pages. Even when his body felt tired, he walked to the mailbox. Not because he felt motivated, but because the system was already in place. And something powerful was happening beneath the surface. Work gave him responsibility. Habits gave him stability. The combination built confidence. Not loud confidence, not social media confidence. Quiet confidence. The kind that grows when you repeatedly do what you said you would do. After 1 month, he realized something. He was not forcing discipline anymore. He was following a rhythm. And rhythm makes effort lighter. The small actions were no longer experiments. They were standards. And standards change a person faster than motivation ever could. And rhythm slowly turned into growth. After a month at the warehouse, he noticed his energy was different. Not explosive, not dramatic. Stable. So, he applied the same principle to something he once believed was impossible. Studying. He did not return to the 6-hour plan. He chose 30 minutes. Just 30. After work, before dinner, phone in another room. 30 focused minutes. The first week felt slow. His mind wandered, old distractions called his name. But 30 minutes was manageable. It was not scary, it was not overwhelming. And that is why he kept showing up. After 2 weeks, his focus improved. After 1 month, he realized he could complete tasks faster. After 2 months, he naturally extended some sessions to 45 minutes. Not because he forced it, but because progress creates its own motivation. He understood something critical. Ability grows when consistency is protected. If you are starting to see how small structure builds real confidence, comment 3. Not to follow a trend, but to mark the moment you stop overcomplicating growth. Because what he was building was not just academic skill. He was building mental endurance. The kind that allows you to sit with discomfort. The kind that strengthens your attention. The kind that prepares you for opportunities before they arrive. Work strengthened his responsibility. Walking strengthened his discipline. Reading strengthened his mindset. Studying strengthened his future. Each small habit connected to the next, like dominoes. And once the first one falls, the rest begin to follow. He no longer asked, "How do I change my life?" He asked, "What small action must I protect today?" He no longer asked, "What big move will change everything?" He asked, "What principle will protect everything?" That question led him deeper. He began studying not only habits, but philosophy. Not for entertainment, not for quotes. For understanding. He discovered an idea that changed how he handled mistakes. Beginner mind. The belief that you are always learning. Before this, he thought one bad day erased progress. Now he saw it differently. A missed walk was feedback, not failure. A distracted study session was information, not identity. This shift removed fear. Then he embraced perseverance. Not dramatic toughness, not loud determination. Quiet endurance. Showing up when tired, showing up when stressed, showing up when no one noticed. He understood mastery follows stages. First, you follow the rules, then you adapt, then you become. So, he stopped trying to be advanced. He followed the basics. Walk, read, study, work. Repeated. He also learned to treat each day as unique. Not another boring repetition, but a moment that would never return. This created presence. And presence turned routine into ritual. Most importantly, he accepted imperfection. He stopped hating himself for setbacks. He focused on returning. Because returning is power. And slowly he felt something stronger than motivation. Purpose. Not a grand dream, but a simple decision to become reliable. Reliable for his family, reliable for himself. That purpose made every small habit meaningful. And when meaning connects to repetition, consistency becomes natural. Purpose made every small habit meaningful. And meaning is what turns repetition into transformation. Now here is the truth. Nolan did not become perfect. He still has hard days. He still feels tired. He still makes mistakes. But he no longer collapses. Because he understands something most people never learn. Success is not built on intensity. It is built on return. Return after a bad day, return after distraction, return after failure. That is the real system. So now the question is not, can you change your life? The question is, are you willing to start small enough to protect consistency? Choose one action. Not 10. 1. So small it feels almost insignificant. Protect it for 14 days. Do not chase motivation. Build structure. If you are serious about building a new identity, comment 4. Not for the algorithm. For yourself. As a decision. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the channel. Because this is not about quick inspiration. This is about long-term transformation. There are deeper breakdowns of each principle on this channel. Watch the next video and continue building momentum. Remember, you do not need to be perfect. You need to begin. You do not need to feel ready. You need to act small. 3 years will pass anyway. The only question is, who will you be when they do?